Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to the Strange History Podcast, where we sift human civilization through the dice tower of time and see what rolls out. Today, the unseen, occasionally unhinged history of board games. Those flat battlegrounds where friendships go to die, siblings become sworn enemies, and someone inevitably flips the board like a Renaissance table waiter in a hurry. Grab your meeples, hydrate your sarcasm, and please do not eat the components. Let's play.
Sand, stars, and strategy. When boards were altars.
Picture Egypt, around 3100 BCE. The air smells like figs, incense, and projects that will absolutely require change orders. A priest scribes a grid on a polished board. Senet, a race game of 30 squares where pieces glide as if pushed by invisible gods in sandals. People played it to pass eternity's time, to gamble, and, awkwardly, to rehearse their afterlife commute. In tomb art, you'll find queens concentrating like grandmasters, because in Senet, bad rolls could signal divine displeasure, or just a cousin who accidentally bumped the table. Across the Euphrates, the royal game of circa 2600 BCE, spreads like a rumor. Its board is a stylish hourglass of rosettes. Its rules, reconstructed from cuneiform tablets, involve racing, blocking, and developing the poker face of a Mesopotamian accountant. Even then, people argued about rules. House variant, muttered a bearded merchant, inventing a phrase that would haunt game nights forever. Meanwhile, in ancient China, scholars draw lines on the earth, place stones, and quietly invent an intellectual thunderstorm. Go, no dice, no luck. Just you, me, and 361 intersections daring us to make existential mistakes. Go looks simple, like minimalism's minimalist cousin, yet its strategic depth is so vast that early players likely stared at their boards and said, "We have made a beautiful mistake."
Meeple oil. Splinters in your soul from long wooden turns? Try meeple oil, the only essential oil blend for tabletop stress. With notes of eucalyptus, cedarwood, and please stop rules lawyering. Meeple oil turns analysis paralysis into zen. Not FDA approved. May cause you to apologize for hoarding wheat.
Where kings learn humility. Elephants become bishops.
In the Indian subcontinent around the 6th century, we get Chaturanga, a war on a board with elephants, future bishops, chariots, rooks, horsemen, knights, a king, and a vizier that will eventually glow up into the queen, the biggest power jump since coffee met the espresso machine. As Chaturanga travels to Persia, it becomes Shatranj, acquiring poetic names and serious eyebrows. From the Islamic world to medieval Europe, the game remixes. The queen turns into a rocket. Bishops discover diagonals like it's a new continent. Pawns learn promotion because social mobility feels great in cardboard. Monks teach chess to nobles, nobles use it to flirt, and everyone writes metaphors about life being chess, not checkers. Though, to be fair, checkers, or drafts, also mutates from earlier war games and becomes the world's most efficient way to feel smug until you get double jumped into next Thursday.
North winds and shield walls. Vikings, grids, and grudges.
Sail north and find Hnefatafl, a game so Viking it practically smells like smoked fish. One king flees from besiegers across a cross-shaped grid, while attackers coordinate like a Nordic project management tool. It's asymmetric, tense, and historically accurate in the sense that someone always yells, "We're surrounded," followed by a brave plan and 3 conflicting rule sets carved into runestones by committee. Slide over to Africa, watch fingers dig pits in the earth, and seeds clack from hole to hole. Mancala, really a family of games so elegant they make spreadsheets jealous. The goal is to capture more seeds than your opponent, and also to look wisely serene while calculating 10 moves ahead. Mancala boards travel in cloth bags, on caravans, and into every village where children learn planning, counting, and how to pretend they definitely meant to feed their opponent a mega capture.
Table Flip Insurance Company, did your uncle overturn risk somewhere around Kamchatka? Protect your game night with Table Flip Insurance Company. We cover dings, dents, and emotional damages caused by statements like, "I thought we said no alliances." Add the Monopoly rider to cover hotels yeeted across the room at 2 a.m. Some exclusions apply, including but not limited to your cousin Gary.
Serpents, ladders, and moral panic. Boards with opinions.
Back in India, a second millennium moral chart called Moksha Patam teaches virtue via ladders and vice via snakes. Good deeds rocket you upward. Bad choices slide you down with reptilian judgment. The British colonials tote this into Victorian parlors as snakes and ladders. In America, it becomes chutes and ladders, because snakes were apparently too spicy for small children. But near death via laundry chute, family fun. At the same time, 19th century moralists print games like The Mansion of Happiness, 1832, where vices are punished and virtue is rewarded with, presumably, tepid applause. Board games become moral PowerPoints, slide after slide of don't, but families still play because the box art is shiny and the living room has no Netflix.
Dice, cards, and Mahjong. Shuffle, rattle, roll.
Dominoes likely travel from China, where black tiles with white pips ring like tiny doors knocking. Playing cards also start in China, wander through the Islamic world, then deck hop into Europe wearing Mamluk fashions before getting a full Western makeover. Hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades, and eventually jokers for chaos. Tarot begins as a trick-taking card game that later moonlights as career counselor for your soul. The cards do not condone your Etsy impulse purchases. Or do they? In Qing-era China, Mahjong became the tabletop equivalent of a jazz quartet, clacking bone tiles, storms of symbols, a flow state that makes hours vanish. When Mahjong hits 1920s America, everyone buys sets the size of end tables and claims they play for the culture, which is code for the tiles are gorgeous and Aunt Dot is a shark.
Rules, lawyer at law.
Confused by contradictory rulebooks? Call Rules Lawyer at Law. We object to your house rules. We offer arbitration for does diagonal count? And can I trade wood for eternal friendship? Free consultation if you can recite the setup without sighing.
The industrial age. Printing presses and petty grievances.
By the 1800s, mass printing turned games into household staples. Enter Pachisi from India, rebranded by the British as Ludo, I play, which is Latin for scream quietly at your children. Backgammon, descended from Nard and other ancient race games, becomes the perfect blend of strategy, luck, and regret you can carry in a suitcase. Parlors hum with squares, tracks, and dice that always roll off the table at the most suspenseful moment, like dramatic actors pursuing adjacent careers as marbles. Then capitalism waltzes in and asks, what if property? Cue The Landlord's Game, 1904, invented by Lizzie Maggi to critique monopolies. Later, a cleaned-up derivative explodes as Monopoly, a game that unintentionally says, actually, monopolies are kind of fun. Families learn 3 facts. 1, someone will buy the oranges. 2, free parking is a myth. 3, short game is a lie told by box lids. Milton Bradley publishes The Checkered Game of Life, 1860, because nothing says whimsy like Victorian existentialism and a coffin space. In the 20th century, designers experiment. Cluedo Clue, 1949, turns murder into a polite logic puzzle. Scrabble, 1938/48, makes you stare at 7 letters and invent a language. Risk, 1957, allows you to invade your sibling's soul via North Africa.
Plastic Fantastic. Party games, war rooms, and dragons.
Post-war plastics give us chunky pieces and bright boards. Operation buzzes when you touch the sides, teaching steady hands and fear of litigation. Twister insists You acquaint your left foot with your coworker's personal space. Meanwhile, war games like Tactics and Panzerblitz inspire a generation of armchair generals with rulers, hex maps, and the thrilling sentence, "That's not in the errata." In the 1970s, two Midwestern alchemists, Gygax and Arneson, collide chainmail with imagination and birth to Dungeons and Dragons. It's not a board game, more like a board-optional storytelling bonfire, but it contaminates tabletop DNA forever with character sheets, polyhedral dice, and I seduce the dragon energy. Whole universes now fit on dining tables. Pizza grease, likewise.
Sleeve it and believe it. Protect your cards with Sleeve It and Believe It, the sleeves that whisper, "You are a collector," while your wallet screams, "Please stop." New sizes, mini Euro, American Standard, and why is this one card taller?
The Euro invasion and the cult of the wooden cube.
The 1990s and 2000s brought a design renaissance. Germany deploys elegant, low-luck, high-strategy games where you manage wheat, sheep, and your stress. Catan lands in 1995 like a hex-tiled UFO and teaches us that brick and wood are a currency pair more volatile than the stock market. Carcassonne lets you build medieval France by committing all-tile urban planning crimes. Ticket to Ride allows spiteful track blocking with the plausible deniability of tourism. Terms like worker placement, engine building, and meeple become normal words you say in public to the alarm of bartenders. Asymmetry returns with style. Co-ops arrive with Pandemic, saving the world with cubes and a tight timer. Legacy games let you rip up cards, legally, which hits the same nerve as bubble wrap but with lore.
The quiet superpowers, what boards really do.
Beneath the wood, cardboard, and chaotic snacks, board games have always been social technology. Senet tutored the afterlife, chess mapped strategy in class, Tafl trained asymmetric thinking, Mancala sharpened math, snakes and ladders moralized, modern Euros teach resource trade-offs, negotiation, and the art of saying, "I'm not attacking you, I'm attacking your unchecked victory points." Games let us rehearse risk, practice empathy, and ritualize conflict. They give us a table for community. They give chaos a polite container until Gary flips it.
Stuck in decision limbo? Try Anti-AP Timer, a kitchen timer that shouts compliments until you choose great jawline, build the farm. Incredible posture, play the 7. Buy now and get a bonus sand timer full of artisanal sand that definitely isn't from a cursed pyramid.
Secret rulebooks, house variants, folklore, and feuds.
Every family has fossilized house rules. Free parking pays out, sixes explode, you can trade sheep for apologies. These variants are oral tradition, tabletop folklore passed down like heirloom grudges. The unseen history isn't just in museums, it's in the margins of your grandma's Yahtzee pad, the coffee ring on your clue score sheet, the pencil grooves in your D&D map where the dragon definitely wasn't supposed to be. Rules drift, stories stick, and somewhere a scribe will someday translate, "No, we don't play with ports like that," into cuneiform on a clay meeple.
Epilogue. A board the size of the world.
Today, designers remix ancient DNA with modern magic. African sewing meets crunchy engines, Go's elegance meets AI, Tarot's art meets trick-taking comebacks, legacy stickers meet historical campaigns that would make Herodotus ask for an expansion pack. We're living in a golden age where 100,000 boxes whisper, "Open me," and your shelves whisper, "Please don't." From tombs to taverns, palaces to patios, the same drama plays: chance, choice, consequence, and laughter when chance trips over choice and faceplants into consequence. The unseen history of board games is not a straight line. It's a glorious tangle of roots, ladders, snakes, ports, pits, dice, tiles, cubes, cards, and the same fragile miracle: people sitting together at a table, telling a story with moves. This has been the Strange History Podcast. If you enjoyed our cardboard odyssey, leave a review that says, "I, for one, welcome our meeple overlords." And to Gary, put the board back. See you next time, dear listeners, and may all your roles be narratively satisfying.